So hi again. In this context, we are going to create a C++ application and a database. We are going to create a database to read some data from a database and update the QML side. So if you haven't watched the first video yet, I really recommend you to watch first, because this will be the second part 2. So in the part 1, we just created this QML application, hotel monitoring system, I don't know. So there are just rooms, and each room has kind of a data like a temperature, humidity, fridge status, kind of this simple data. These are now statically typed. Statically we just create this data now, but we want to read this data from a database. And database is a SQL database, postgreSQL. Why I choose this SQL? Because Qt has a support for it. So what I'm going to do now, create a class for it, like abstract class. And if you want, you can change it later. So if you have a different database that I don't know, you can use your own database here. It's up to you. So then let's start first. Here, like I want to, I play a little bit. So I created before the database that I'm going to delete it now. And to do that, let me show you to you. Also, you can learn how to drop database if exists hotel DB. I'm just deleting the previous one. So yeah, I cannot do that. I need to enter database with super user. Drop database if exists hotel DB and drop user. This is my name. Okay, it looks good. Now let me first show you how we should install this. So yep. To install the database, this SQL, postgreSQL, you need to install postgreSQL contrib, and libpqdev development package. These are for the database. The last one is for the Qt. This is development package. So to use this database with the Qt to create the interface related the functions, the related interfaces, you need to build the Qt with this enabling the correct option, the postgreSQL option. If you check the SQL drivers under the plugins, so I built the Qt in this directory, under this directory. So there is a plugins directory. Under this, there is a SQL drivers. You should see this shared object file. If you don't see this with your build, then you cannot use this interface. So this is important. And if you check, like let's check together, you can also, what is this? Vim qt6, I think here, qt6 qtbase config summary. So if you check the config summary here, postgreSQL should be yes for you. So you can also check from here. I think I explained this in the first video in the beginning somewhere. So I'm not going to explain this again. So check the first video, please. Or you can just follow the link below the video. You will see the comments there probably. But if you follow my previous tutorials also about how you can build the Qt with the Docker, it is already enabled if you use Docker for the Raspberry Pi bot. So the Ubuntu, I'm going to use here like the development to be quick and too easy to record the video. I'm going to use the Ubuntu, but at the end I will try everything in the Raspberry Pi and an JSON board, or it doesn't matter. I mean, they will be the same. So this postgreSQL should be yes for the Qt build for this content. Okay. After this, when you install this, I did already. That means you are able to create a database now. So first we are going to create user and the table for this, for the database and the database itself. So to do that, we can simply, using the command sudo -u user postgres. This is a super user psql. I'm not really good at the database, by the way. I'm not a fan of SQL, PostgreSQL. I mean, it's okay. It is advanced, really open source, good. I'm just using it here because Qt has a support for it right now. And I want to keep the things really quite simple. As long as you set up correctly the database, it will work. But if you don't know how to set up correctly, then it will not work. It is like that. Done. So now we can first create the user. There are some just commands. It's not really rocket science. With the name, Ulash, my name. With password. This is important, this password and a user, because you will use these in the C++. So C++ code, the application will use this username and the password to access the database. This is important. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hard to predict. And I made a mistake. Yep, nice. Where is it? L. Create user ulas. I think I need to write again. Create user ulas with password 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I just tried to clean the screen. It kept the L as a command, I think. Yeah, it is a stupid interface. Then we can just change this user as a super user to you know, to not to see any issue for now, but don't try at home, you know, for this video. I don't want to deal with any problem for now. So with a super user alter role, and we can create a database now. Database hotel DB, hotel database, Hotel California, owner Ulash. Create database, looks good. Then I'm going to grant everything privileges on database hotel DB to user. Grant is assigned, cool. And now we can exit here. Now we can simply enter this database using PSQL. So I'm not a super user anymore. I am going to access here with the user. PSQL minus the localhost minus hash and a localhost. This will be the local database. Simple. Minus u user Ulash and minus the hotel DB. It is asking the password. Yep. So it is good that you see the connection secured is okay. So now we can create a table. To create a table, we need to use this command. I just copy paste, create table rooms. So the rooms, you know, table name, the room number, temperature, humidity, fridge status, and availability. It's not correct. Availability. Yep. Then this is one of the reasons that I'm going to use this database. There is an asynchronous notification system here. So in the beginning of the binary, you know, in the beginning of the application, we are going to read all database and update the QML side. But later, the one of the temperature of the one of the rooms can be changed, right? It's normal. So the database should notify, should send notification to the binary, and binary should handle this and update the QML side. We can do that with a trigger mechanism here. I'm going to share this comments. So I type it quickly. It's just this is the name of the function that we are going to use. So this is the way for triggering. And you can just, you know, it's performing like a JSON data. So it will give us a JSON data. So function is created, and now the second one, and this will trigger, create a trigger. So it is ready now. Of course, now if we check select everything from rooms, it is empty, right? The database is empty. I think I couldn't check it. Select everything from rooms. Yeah, this is empty now because we didn't add any row now. The database is empty. So let's add something here. To that, I created here add rooms SQL file. It is just, you can also copy paste this to the here. I think it will work, but I like to keep it, you know, like in another directory that you can use it in another command line. So it will insert, just running this command in a for loop, like 100 rooms, 100 rows, I think, if I haven't made any mistake. So just random some numbers. That is it. To run this, PSQL minus user minus the database minus f the file add rooms SQL and do means it is okay. And let's come here again and let's check with the select everything from rooms, and we will see numbers now. So the 101 with the temperature, with the humidity, fridge status true, and availability is true or something. Then we are going to see these reflect this data in the QML at the end. And when we change one of the data here dynamically, the database will notify us, notify the application, the C++ side with the signal processing, signal slot mechanism, and from this function that we are going to create, the function will update the QML side. Looks simple. Let's continue. Database is ready. I'm going to keep it here like that because we are going to use it later at the end. And now main CPP. I create already a main CPP. It's empty. We need, this includes, you know, the GUI application, QML context. It is red now. I don't know why. I think I couldn't configure properly, but it's okay now properly. We will have a main now, int main. I think I need to enter also the, even if I'm not going to use this, but I think let's follow for the arguments, because the argument is this is needed for the GUI application. QGUI application. Okay, auto correction is not working. Whatever. argc and argv. Then we are going to include that I showed you at the plugins directory. So we need to include this path here, or you can just include by the command line, just export. I don't remember the flag now. Q plugins pet or something. I'm not sure right now, but I am going to embed this into the binary for now. Library path. For me, it is under home lush qt6 builds. Probably if it is wrong, then we can check later. Plugins. QML application engine. Need to create engine, and we need to simply we have a QML file here. We need to use this file in the C++ side. QURL QML. Then we need to using the QObjectConnect. I'm just going to copy paste everything. So using the engine app, now it should be okay. So we are without QML application, QML binary application, we should be able to run the QML now. But of course we need to create the cmake file first and the qrc file. So we will have a code QML qrc and cmake lists. We are going to use the cmake, right? In the QML qrc file, you need to put if you use any external file like a JPEG, PNG, pictures, or QML, you can simply type like this. And if you define this in the cmake list later, then it is easy to find the things. So it will be in the binary. The QML, the PNGs, it will be in the binary for now, which is okay for now. But you can also load them dynamically after compilation. For the cmake, I'm not going to type everything, and this is just a proper cmake file. So the name of the project, the version, minimum version, but it's the higher version I'm using now, but it's okay. So standard for the C++, the build, the directory that I used for the Qt, and the required components, core GUI, QML, quick SQL that I have. Right now I have main CPP and QML QRC. QML QRC has the main QML. That is the structure for now. In the next, there will be one more CPP and header file here for the database access, database manipulation, the reading, for only reading. These are the target libraries like a core, GUI, QML, quick, and SQL. And the target definition, like just simply some, additional flags. Okay, let's try quickly. Probably we made a mistake. Probably I did it. Probably there's a mistake. So make the build cmake does not appear cmake list. Yeah, because the cmake list. I made a mistake. Yep, see. Cmake lists should be cmake list txt. And now it should work. Okay. Generation done. Build files have been written to whatever place. Now we can just call the make and let's see if there's a problem. Yeah, see. argc. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, this should be argv. Yep, see. I make mistakes. Yep, let's try to run it now. Yeah, see. Now we are not using any QML binary to run the QML application. Now this QML is loaded in with the C++. So the room numbers are still but not from the database, right? Room numbers are coming from the, just we typed them, created them in the binary itself, in the QML itself, but we are going to change this now. And now let's create the room database notifier. Room database notifier. It's a good name? I'm not sure. Room database notifier header and room database notifier CPP. This is for implementation. Header is for declaration. We include declarations. We are going to declare these functions and class in the header file, and we are going to use for implementation the CPP file for the implementation. So some, like to protect the file, but it's not needed now. Nobody is going to use file anyhow, but it's okay. We need to include some kind of like a necessary, I think, the libraries to the, let me remember, QObject. This will make, we'll inherit this QObject from our class, and our class will be ready to use by QML side. The QObject is a good thing. Include also it's expensive thing, right? As a C++, yeah, it's expensive. Database includes Q variant lists. This will be used for, I'm not sure the list is necessary. But let's keep it like this now. And we are going to use Q list or map. Okay, I don't remember now. List include Q variant map. We are the types that we are going to use to collect data and send to the QML site. And finally, one of the important ones, the QSQL drivers class room database notifier public, it will inherit the Q object. Then we are going to use this, the full of, all the power that we have to send the data to QML side, which the Q object gives us this power. The notation is like that: Q object public, some, the constructor explicit. We can use or we don't have to use, but let's use it. Explicit room database notifier. I have definitely problem with the auto correction. Q object parent null pointer, and we have an invocable function from the QMS side, which will be invocable Q variant list get all rooms as const. It will not change anything. Q invocable Q variant list get all rooms. We should have one signal void rooms update. This has a Q variant list again. Q variant list room data list, let's say, and there will be a slot, public slots. The colors are really weird for now, but yeah, I couldn't focus. Void, I don't know what's the problem. I don't want to waste my time again. On database notification. So this part is quite actually important, because if you cannot, I will copy paste here. If you cannot correctly type this, even if you are able to compile the code, in the runtime you will see problems, and it's so hard to understand. So if you check on the internet, this Qt, so there is a signal for it, notification, QSQL driver notification. So it's a signal. The arguments here should match here with this, otherwise you will see problems. So be careful here, and it's so hard to understand. If you have a problem, that it will be compiled, and you will see weird behaviors. Private, and we can have the object for the QSQL database MDB, like a database, the object member, yes, member, QSQL database. Okay, header part is ready quite, and we can check now the CPP site quickly. These are the includes that we need now. I just write and skip the part. And we have a room database notifier room database. This is the constructor. Q object parents. To connect a database, we have the member. So we can edit a database, QSQL database, add database, QPSQL. So you just follow the pattern. So MDB set host name. This is a local host, and you need to set the database name, password, and username. Host name, database name, username, and a password that we set it before, right? You remember in the beginning of the video. And we can check just that the database can be open or not. DB open. So after this commands, this is we can check it's failed or not. So the fail to connect the database, the last error, then it will print the error. We can also print some extra debugs. Connection name, if the database is open or not, that we checked already. I just give you for an example. So now we are going to subscribe to this notification system using the subscribe to notification function. You see, it's so easy if you set up everything correctly. Using the interface is quite easy. So this is room updates. That the name, as I remember, if I'm not wrong, it is room updates. Right? And we need to create a function later and connect this to the database. So this is a driver, and driver is connected to this driver, the notification function that I showed you. Then this is the function that we just declare in the header file. We are going to now create this now and then implement this now. Now we can just simply get the data in the beginning. So Q variant list initial rooms. So this is the constructor. So we can call the first request, first query, get all rooms. Maybe it's a good idea to to iterate and print the data for now. So the initial rooms, each room will have a variant, and room number, temperature, availability again, the same mistake. We can print it for now in the beginning, And here to send the data, we can emit the rooms updated function, the signal, initial rooms. This is correct, right? Let me check. Yes, room updated. Yep. Q-variant list. I think this should be Q-variant room to map Q-variant. I think it's okay. So now we can just simply create the Q-variant for the get all rooms implementation. Q-variant list room database notifier get all rooms const. Again, Q-variant list room list. We need to create a query, QSQL query. Maybe we should just compile the code for now because there can be problems. Maybe let me left this here and put the other function with the on database notification function that we need to implement also. So let's try to compile it first because we write a lot of things. Cmake lists. Come on. So let's add here room database notifier header. Why it is not a HPP, but it's okay. CPP. And okay, we need to rerun the cmake. Make clean. Cmake make. Yes. QSQL drivers, no such a file or directory. The header 8. I think it should be driver, not drivers. I already included here, right? Let me check in the CPP. QSQL driver, I already included here. It's not needed. I just changed the file during the build. Nice. Very nice. But there's error anyhow. So return type, yes, okay. We forget the return type. We left the function empty. That we can use simply, I think this will be supported for now. 62. What is the problem? Expected end of the input. What do you mean? Oh shit, there is there's already the parentheses, the curly parenthesis. Okay, now I think it's okay. Yep. So I'm not going to run it because yeah, we can run and check the connection. Let's see. Is it? That is it. Oh yeah, but we didn't initialize the object. Okay, let's initialize the object. But okay, let's complete the implementations then. I don't want to initialize the object without dummy implementations. It's not a good idea. So we need to make a query here. The query is it should be, we need to be careful. Just a string, and it should be correct. Select room number, temperature, humidity, fridge status, availability from rooms, and it is ordered by the room number. So that if you don't care the order, then it will give you how it is created in the database. So don't try to order in the database. Just request, make the query with the correct order. And same if the query is correct, while query next, just print the data. Room number, availability. So this will be, like create a map, a qvariant map, and it will append the room list here, then it will return as a function. Then this will be called in the QML site directly, guys. This is the way. So this is also if you check the header file, this is invocable function. See the invocable, and it returns qvariant list. That means it can be invocable by the QML site. That's it. Later, this notification function, this is quite easy, but we can also like debug the print the name here, the notification, the source. Now this is just an enum file that we don't need to care, and the payload, the data itself. And we need to, it will send the JSON, right? If you remember the command that we entered in the database, qjson document, JSON doc, qjson document from JSON payload string. This converts the string. This is the way. If JSON doc is not an object, and we can simply print, like a qdebug again, like adding extra debug point here to understand where's the problem in case of the issue. Invalid payload format, whatever, and return. It doesn't have to continue. Then we need to, if it is ready, the object, then we can simply emit the signal like we did in the constructor. Qvariant map, room data, JSON object, query room data, JSON doc, actually, JSON doc object to variant to variant map. Well, we can just simply print debug the data that we just get it, for the asynchronous behavior. So then emits rooms updated room data. So that is it. That is it. And we can just try to compile again. Let's try to run it. But yeah, we didn't initialize the object itself. So after engine here, we can just simply initialize the class QML. No, not a room. This is, we don't need to. First, we need to implement. We need to define it, right? We need to initialize it. Data, room data, notifier, room notifier. Okay. And to make the connection with the QML, root context, set context property. It's like a property anymore. Property, room notifier, but this should be the double quotes and a room with this reference, room notifier. Okay, looks correct. Now we can just simply run application to see, because compile again. If there's a problem, yeah, there is, of course. Yes, it's not because we didn't include it. Yeah, how it is possible, right? Room notifier header. Make again. Make America not great. Why the room data? What is it? Not such a file directory. Yeah, I put the. How I made this mistake. I put this room database not in the wrong. They're in the wrong directory. Shit, my mistake. I'm sleepy again, like as usual. Okay, now I think this should work. But make clean and the cmake again and make now again. Make the application works great again. No, of course not. Room data notifier was not in the scope to room data database. Database, yes, database. I'm sorry. Database notifier. What am I talking about? 15. Yeah, it's a C++, not a JavaScript, right? Yeah, you're right. Looks good. Let's try to run. Yep. So the database is, I think, it's connected now. See, we read the data. Don't worry about this right now. I didn't explain the first story, by the way, but it's about the Wayland. So it's I don't have a plugin for the Wayland now. That's why it's throwing this text, but it's okay. It's not about us now for now. So connection name, default connection, database open true. So the room number is read it, it's okay. Temperature, the first room. So now we have a connection with the database. And now we can simply come here and instead of creating some kind of dummy numbers, we can simply call the function and fill the data from database, which is, I think, quite interesting. This is the interesting part, actually. So we have a room notifier, right? In this main CPP here, in the main CPP, we have a room notifier. This can be used now in the QML side. So like this, room notifier. Gets all rooms. See? I think I don't have I don't have correct configuration for the C++ autocorrection. I don't know why, but for QML I have. Interesting. For each, this is the syntax: room data, parentheses, and we need to append for each room model that we have here. Room model. I explained this in the first video. Room model. Append everything to room data, not a room icon. Room data. Cool. I think now the notification will not work, but we can load data from the database in the first very beginning of the binary application. Let's try. No, it didn't work. Something is not correct. So reference error, availability. Yeah, made a mistake somewhere. There can be a availability, maybe. No. List, we created the list before with the availability, so this is maybe not correct in the here. Maybe let me check availability. Yes, here I forget single I. Ale, no, not ale, make. Yeah, ale, beer, ale. So it's okay now. Well, it's quite fast because I changed just the I, or I want to compile again. Clean compile. Okay, now I got I still, I think, I was using the wrong file still, my mistake. So now I also figured out that simply this is not needed because we are using get all rooms function. So in the constructor, we don't need to call the get all rooms, because in the QML side, right, it's not good. So in the QML side, when the component is here, the completed, uncompleted, we are calling the function. So it's not need to again to call in the constructor. There is no point. But for debug point for for debug purpose is okay, but I don't see any point to send the data to QML now. So simply we need to connect the related functions, that is it, in the constructor. And later we have a get all rooms. The problem was I was using the wrong CPP and I forget to change the availability here in the wrong CPP still because of the VS Code. So there's no problem now. So if you run the, yeah, I was debugging this, but let me run everything again. So interestingly, you see this is the QML side. This is the JavaScript QML based language. That is why, I mean, we created a qvariant map, room data, with the room number, temperature, humidity, whatever the texts, and we append the room list. And room list will be returned by this function. This function is read by the QML. And when we append it here anymore, we don't need to even define in the QML side, for example, like for the pop-up, the availability, for example, like I don't know, like a temperature or something, you know, like here. This is not the one, yeah, like availability, like the temperature. Even we don't need to define. See, it is not defined somewhere. So this is not defined somewhere, but we can use it. So you don't need to define availability somewhere in the QML and assign something, you know, assign it from this function. And you know, it's okay as long as you have lists and you have a correct function with the correct return types. That is it. Now this is working. Let's run again. Yep, these are now read by, you know, like from the database itself. Like we can check, select from room, everything, whatever. Then 101 is 24 degree. So I just typecast, you know, integer, but I think we don't need a really long, like a double or something. The first two numbers is enough. And the availability is true. It is green. Like a free status is true. Yes, correct. The humidity is 43, whatever. That is, it is working. I think now we cannot test the still notification part. Why? Because we haven't implemented the QML side. So for this, the C++ side is ready. But in the QML, we need to create the connection. Using the connections type, connections, we have a, you know, like a room notifier now that we created in the main CPP here, the object as a context, you know, property. So room notifier. This connection should be connected to our class, the class here. This one, exactly this one, created the reference, this one, room notifier. So that is why when targets, they have the targets, you know, the feature, the property, whatever, because you can connect multiple connections. You can use multiple class for a single connection or multiple connection, whatever that the communication you can do it. That's why you need to explicitly tell the target here. So which is room notifier in our case. And that like just we can create a function on rooms updated, which is on rooms updated is the function. It is should be signal, right? Yes, this one. So this is a signal. If you follow this function on rooms updated and room, if you give the correct whatever the argument, then when this will be emitted, this function will be called here. It's cool, right? And we can simply console log everything received, like received room data list. So it is a JSON, right? JSON stringify room data list. Then with the simple for loop, I don't know, let's room data of room data list. We need to set to the model. Then the rooms are, you know, like I assume now rooms are not, I mean, nobody will add a new room now. So I assume rooms are just constant. If there are 100 rooms, then there will be 100 rooms. So I don't care if there's a new room. That's why I'm not appending anything. This is set. So I assume the rooms are there. When during the initialization, we read the rooms and room numbers. We know it. There are 100 room, and we set the QML. And in the next times, we are not adding any new room. You can do that, but I think in the hotels nobody is adding a new room. You know, like it will be quite hard time taking process, right? Yeah, if there, you can say that maybe rooms are not available, so that is why there is a not available flag. So we can use not available rooms, but I assume room is there anyhow, even if it is available physically is there. So that is why I'm not going to add anything here. Just set room data, room number, not icon, room number. This will be, so this will be, you know, this is set process. There is an index in the list. So this first room start with the 0, right? So we know the room. That is why we know, I said that the rooms are stable, I assume. So I will give here, you know, room number minus 101. So which means 0 index. So we can set now to 0 index, temperature, room. I don't check the temperature, you know, it can be, you know, the higher, lower values. I don't care now, which is not, I think, good now, but it is not my point now here. So you can check, you know, between 0 and, I don't know, 105,000 Celsius or something. I don't care mean high values now for testing purposes. I'm not caring test now. Room data. I'm just trying to show you the functionality that the QML and the C++ side, how we can use C++ and QML and third party, like, I don't know, like a database or the, like maybe in the next HTTP request, whatever. Humidity, fridge status. I don't feel hungry now, so it is okay. Room data, fridge status, and availability. Room data, availability. Yep, and let's not forget the semicolon. This is one notifier. That's when we have a change in the database. Okay, let's try that because something is missing now. But yeah, it's okay. We need to test it. Make, cake, bake, whatever. So hotel monitoring. Okay, so let's now try to update the database. Like a insert. I think I have it before. Nope. Insert into rooms. Need to type correctly, otherwise it will not work. The temperature, temperature, humidity, fridge status, then availability. Yep, it's correct. And values, let's assume first, like a first room, like rooms, temperature, humidity, fridge status. But this is not, no, it's not the one. And now let's try to update the database dynamically, and you know, like without touching the code side. I mean, like let's see the connection is working or not. So update rooms, set temperature. It's like I don't know. It doesn't really important now because I think at the temp this should work. 25 humidity, like a 50. It's like a 70. Fridge status is like a true, and availability is like a true, like a false, because let's assume we are going to change the room 101. So it is available now, but let's assume I rented already. I kept it. Room number is 101. Let's assume. Ta-da! Cool. So it was green before, now it is gray because I rented it. So let's make it again. I didn't like the 101. Yay! And I don't know, I can play like this forever. So let's like a true, false, like this 102. Yep, cool. So like if you check like 25, right? So let's change temperature here. Like I don't know, we can 66. Didn't work. Why? Because we didn't implement this part. So if you close the pop-up and open again, you will see temperatures updated. But during the pop-up, if pop-up is open, the updates are not handled correctly. So we didn't do this yet, but this is simple. I'm going to show you. This is 66. So like you can put simple like you know, there is no the check for now here, the limit check. So like it should be quite hot, I think, right? Not 102. Ooh, yeah. Well, this is, you shouldn't. Sometimes I rent the hotels from booking.com and I can see this kind of problems. Not with the temperature, but with the noise, I think. But it is okay. Then let's fix this. It should be hot. So we need to use the same connection mechanism for the pop-up side, because in the pop-up we just get the data from like here, like in the show detail, room number, whatever, right? But we don't update it later. If it is well, you know, it's set before, it has not been set if the while pop-up is open. So we need to fix this now. Or you can say that, well, Lash, it is okay. I mean, you can click, you know, the pop-up and well, but maybe you want to watch the temperature change, or you want to watch something else, you know. Okay, this is quite simple application. I don't know, there can be something else now, the data that you want to watch. I don't know. I just want to see the data is updating automatically when the pop-up is open. To do that, again, we can use the connection as I told you. So I'm in the pop-up type now. The connections, we can use the connections type. And the target, again, it's a good example also. So I'm going to use like a room notifier class. So there are two connections, but single class. And if the function, I mean the same function is called, function on rooms updated rooms. Of course, we should check here if it is, I mean, we don't need to update. For example, I just set for a single room. So we don't have a pop-up mechanism for multiple rooms. So this is also interesting. Maybe we can do that. Like a card deck, you know, like a card stack deck that shows the multiple rooms at the same time for different decks, different card, different pop-ups. But now there is one single pop-up. Whichever you click, like I can show you here, like whichever you click here, like the pop-up will hold the related data from this room that you clicked just before. So if we get the data from the, you know, like if there's a not one room is updated, I mean in the database, if there are multiple updates, then this will be like not a good idea. Then we can check here in a simple manner for now. I don't want to keep you more here. So then we can let just the room data and from updated rooms. So now we need to check that the updated rooms, the room numbers from this room data is equal to current room number. If it is so, room details pop up. Nope. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, it's a mistake actually. So I need to do that simply room details pop up. That this is the correct access way. Current room number is equal to, what was it? Room data room number. I think this one. So if it is the case, but not the snake, right? Not the snake syntax. Yeah, it is snake syntax. Room number. Okay. Let me check the other one. Ah, yeah, room number. Okay, with the underscore. Why I used underscore? I just figured out now. It's not a good idea. Whatever, it's okay. So if it is equal this, there's a match in the update, you know, because if there can be update and the room number is not the current room number that you see in the pop-up. So there is no meaning to set something again here. So then we need to set like everything. I'm just copying paste again. Current temperature, humidity, fridge status, and availability. We need to check. There is no availability in the pop-up, but it's okay. Room data, temperature, room data, humidity, room data, and whatever fridge status, and room data, availability. Okay. So now if there is again the signal is emitted, that means there's a change in the database. This connection and the other connection will work. But if the pop-up is open, the temperature or the other data is not updated automatically because it isn't implemented before. So now there's one signal and two connections type in the QML side. So you can connect, you know, like a multiple connections into a single image or vice versa, however you like. That's the thing that I want to show you here actually, beside the functionality. So now let's again, just compile. So we can also we can see, you know, like the received data. Let me show you that. So looks okay. And I'm going to, so check here now. Let's oh, it's the first data. We don't need to, yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to update, like I just sent a notification and we can see that data is here. Availability, room number 101, temperature 32, received, you know, that we received this data from QML at the end that to debug purpose, you can debug like this. And now let's assume you open the room number 101 and you want to just monitor the temperature and go there, like change the humidity, for example, 72. So it has changed. Cool, it's working. So we can change like a temperature again, like a 22. It's good. Or like we can do that. It doesn't matter. Even if the pop-up is not open, we can do it for the 102 room, for different room, or like let us change the fridge status. This will be red. Oops, nope, should be false, not falsy, false. So it's false. So you can play like this forever. I don't know, I can play until morning. Temperature, humidity. Let's change room, or like let's assume go down like, I don't know, room 100. Yeah, this will work. I'm just having fun now. What was the room number 50? What was room number? Room number 50. Okay, like this. Let's try this. And in Raspberry Pi, I'm not going to show you how I built, how I set up the database or something in Raspberry Pi again, because the all setups, all steps are same. You need to follow just the same steps. Now let's check how it looks like in the Raspberry Pi, and we can just you know, change a few numbers. It will be same, but I just want to show you physically. And thanks for watching until now, guys. That if you have any questions or something, just leave the comments.